Are you looking to buy your first Pochade box, or are you thinking of switching from your current one? Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Jason, and I'm a Malaysian painter who loves to paint landscapes and birds. Today, we'll be looking at the Guerrilla Painter 8x10 Pochade box. I've been using this Pochade box for a few weeks now, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you what this box can do, and how I've been using it, my experience with it so far, and why I ended up picking this one over all the other Pochade boxes on the market. But before we look at this box more closely, we should ask if a Pochade box is even necessary in the first place. If you've painted outside before, you know quickly if you need one of these or not. A Pochade box helps a lot with organizing all of your art supplies while you're out in the field. And whether you need one or not also depends on what kind of medium you use. If you use a messy medium like oils, then you have to imagine dealing with the paint on the palette after you've done painting. It's going to be a real hassle to deal with the wet paint, especially if you had to hike to and back from your location. A Pochade box helps you contain all that mess and lets you transport it back home before having to deal with all of that mess. And it's the same thing when it comes to the painting itself. So if you paint with oils, then the painting takes quite a while to dry. A Pochade box like this can help you carry the wet panel back home safely without getting it smudged. But what about if you're using water-based or dry media? I used to paint outside a lot using gouache and watercolors, and in the past I never felt like I needed one of these, although I can still see myself benefiting from just the organizational aspect of it. First, I'm going to give you an overview and just like the general features of the box, and later I'll be comparing it to other similar boxes on the market. So this is the Guerrilla Painter 8x10 Cigar Box V 4.0. And I got mine from judsonsart.com with my own money after considering all the other boxes. If you've been looking for reviews of Pochade boxes, then you'd know that this product isn't new. You'd be able to find reviews of Guerrilla Painter Pochade boxes on YouTube from over a decade ago. And if they've been around for so long, then you know they're kind of doing something right. So let's start with the build of the box. When I first unboxed it and held it in my hands, I was pleasantly surprised at how lightweight it felt. When it's empty, it weighs around 2.2 pounds or 1 kilo. These are the dimensions of the box. It's just slightly smaller than a shoebox, and you can technically squeeze it into like a day pack or a hiking bag, but it's clearly designed to be carried separately. It has a light wood finish and it's smooth all around, no sharp edges or anything like that. Underneath the box there are rubber feet, so it allows you to use it on a desk and it won't slip as easily. Also down here is a spot for you to screw in your tripod plate, and this allows you to mount it on any standard tripod. On the front of the box there are two clips here that hold it closed, and also on the side there's a knob here and this works as like a tightening mechanism for the hinges. To open the box, you have to undo these two clips here, loosen the knob, and then you can open the lid. The hinges back here are huge and pretty sturdy, so I don't see them failing anytime soon. This box opens up to pretty much any angle, up to 180 degrees. To lock in an angle, you just have to tighten this knob over here. And inside, let me just remove this. So this is what the box looks like on the inside. Here we have the removable palette. Besides being a mixing area, it also serves as like the separator for the storage area. It's super light and it slides out very easily. And now this is my favorite part of the box, it's the storage space. In here there's a removable divider. So now I'm going to show you what fits and what doesn't fit in this storage compartment. I have a bunch of art supplies over here that you might want to bring with you during a plein air session. And now I'm going to show you how it fits inside this box. The space in here is actually pretty wide. What you want to worry about is the height of the items, because you don't really have much to work with over here. And if your things are too high, the palette won't close over the items. Alright, so let's start with the things that you most probably want to bring with you. Paint tubes, they fit just fine. No problems, you can probably even stack them on top of each other. These small mineral spirit tins, spray bottles, and even a soft pencil case like this would fit. Clips. I'm not sure if you would bring something like this, but even a 75ml Winsor & Newton bottle would fit in here. Right, no problem. So things that might or might not fit. The first thing that comes to mind are these bigger paint tubes. So this is a 200ml Winsor & Newton paint tube, but if you push it down, you can kind of manage to fit it in there. Other tools that you might want to bring are brushes. So this is a size 8. And it barely fits if you put it diagonally. Smaller brushes like this, no problem. But for longer brushes, I'm not really sure if this is the best way to store them. But in a pinch, this works. So for things that don't fit, brush washers, almost any size brush washer will not fit in here because it's too tall. Yeah, so I hope that helps. Before I bought this Pochade box, I was wondering if my stuff would fit inside here, and I wish that a video like this would have existed back then. So here you go. So now I'm going to show you the easel portion that also doubles as a wet panel carrier. So the hardware that holds the panel in place is made of metal. The website states that it should be able to hold a canvas. I've tried putting a canvas in there, but it doesn't fit. Your canvas has to be pretty thin. It has to be less than 12 millimeters or like about half an inch. But for just like thin panels, it should be totally fine. So a limitation with this specific box is that it only holds panels with the maximum width of 10 inches. But if you're working with something smaller, I've had success with just taping the panel directly on the surface here. So this Pochade box stores up to 2 wet panels. You can just place them back to back. So when you're done with your painting, you can just close the lid and your panel should be safe. But one thing you have to be careful of is that if you have taller paint piles on your palette, they might touch your painting. I've had that happen to me once in the past. So now when I'm done with my painting, I usually try to flatten the paint piles with a palette knife before I close the lid. So what are my thoughts about using this box so far? Spoiler alert, I really enjoyed using this box. In my opinion, these are the features that I value the most. They aren't specific to this Pochade box, but the combination of all of them in one package really made it a very enjoyable experience for me. So I've already mentioned before, my favorite feature of this box is the storage space. I cannot express just how valuable this is to me. It made going out to paint so much easier because I would have all of my supplies inside here and ready to go. And the quicker I can get myself out of the door and painting, the less risk of me just making an excuse not to go. Also, if everything's already in here, you're just less likely to forget something. Alright, the next feature that I value so much is the lightweightedness. I'm a very picky person when it comes to choosing a composition to paint, and that means I'm going to be walking around the location for a bit before I settle down and start to paint. I love being able to scout the area with the box in my hand and not feel like I'm hauling a huge weight. And especially for locations where you need to do a bit of walking or hiking to get to the correct scene, you'd be very thankful to have a lightweight box. And on top of all that, I appreciate having the wet panel carrier being built into the Pochade box. Because with my current setup, I usually have to hold the Pochade box in one hand and a tripod in the other. And with my hands full, it's going to be a hassle to carry one extra thing. So yeah, this wet panel carrier, another huge plus. So as far as painting experience goes, it's been very smooth. I've never had a situation where a problem is being caused by the box itself. Everything just seems to work as intended. And like I said before, all of these features are not unique to this specific box, but the combination of all of these features just made the whole painting process so much more enjoyable. So if you're just starting from scratch and you don't already have a Pochade box, I really recommend something like this, where it's an all-in-one solution. So far, I've been praising the box a lot, but I've noticed some durability issues. For my box in particular, I don't know if I'm lucky and I just got a bad unit, but this hook here for this clip, it wobbles. And even when I try to tighten the screws here, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect how I use the box. It still keeps the lid shut. And I've also noticed that the stitching on this handle has started to fray. I can probably fix this pretty easily, but you know, it's not great. I've only been using this box for just a few weeks and these issues are already starting to show. Overall though, I'm still very happy with this box. The important thing is that it makes it very easy for me to go outside and paint. And because of it, I've been going outside to paint way more. So yeah, I see it as a worthy investment for my art journey. So is this box worth the price? The MSRP for this box is slightly below $300. Which is quite expensive. I think if you're good at DIY and if you can make your own Pochade box, that's gonna be the way to go. There's so many tutorials on how to build your own Pochade box, and you'll be able to save a decent chunk of cash in the process. But if you've decided that you're not going to build your own Pochade box, and if you're going to buy one, is it worth the price? So many artists swear by the benefits of painting from life. And if this purchase is the one thing that's standing between you and going outside and painting more, then it's a no-brainer in my book. I don't regret buying this box at all because it has unlocked a whole different area of art growth for me. But if you're still on the fence, then now I'm going to be comparing this box to the other Pochade boxes on the market. If you've already been watching other Pochade box reviews, then you're probably making mental comparisons with this one. I already did a ton of research before deciding to commit to this one. So here are some other notable Pochade boxes. As a disclaimer, I don't own any of these other boxes. I'm making these comparisons based on the information that's available on their websites and also from what I've seen on other reviews. So I'll try not to make too many comments about build quality or the feel of the product. So from my perspective, the factors that could influence your buying decision for a Pochade box are these features: the price, the size and weight, the presence of a wet panel carrier, and the storage area. All of these features are non-negotiable, and the Guerrilla Painter ticks all of these boxes for me. However, if you don't need all of these features, there are plenty of other Pochade boxes that you can look at. So first, the Soho Urban Artist Scout Pochade box, or the Meaden Pochade box. Both of these boxes are very similar to the Guerrilla Painter Pochade box, and they're both cheaper. They both allow you to mount panels of varying sizes onto the Pochade box, but the deal breaker for me was the size and weight of these boxes. I know this is subjective, but both of these boxes are very heavy. The Soho box is 2.5 kilos and the Meaden box is 4.5 kilos. Hauling or hiking with something like this is gonna get old very quick. So unless you know that you're gonna be painting right next to your car or at home, then I can recommend one of these boxes. If you're looking for something similar to this and it's a little bit more compact that doesn't have the built-in storage space, then you can consider Martlet Pochade boxes. They offer beautiful Pochade boxes that are made to order. You can pick from different configurations and you can even pick the finish that you want. They offer models with a wet panel carrier or without, but none of them have a built-in storage, at least at this size. And if you want something even more minimal that doesn't have the wet panel carrier or the storage space, then you can look at the Strada Mini or the New Wave Easel Planer Pochade box. Both of these are really minimal and they don't really offer much in terms of features. All they do is just hold your panel and provide a space for you to mix your pinks. The biggest standout feature on these boxes are obviously their portability, but on the flip side, you're gonna have to find some other solution for carrying all of your art supplies and the wet panel. There's so many other Pochade boxes on the market and I looked at so many of them. The ones that I mentioned are the ones that I thought that make the most sense to be compared to this Pochade box. If you own one of the other Pochade boxes, maybe you could leave a comment with your experience of having used one of them, and maybe you could help out someone else that's trying to shop around for their own Pochade box. But yeah, that's all I have for you in this video. If this video helped you in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like. And if you want to see oil paintings and future plein air painting videos, then why not hit subscribe? But anyways, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.